Yes, it is late. Oh, Mr. 37 is here already. I'm going to talk to y'all for a minute. What's up? I see you. But yeah. Yeah, I got a special guest tonight. I know I usually don't get on this late. But I had to get on because of my man's work schedule. Hold on. Cops have been shot today. Hold on. Yeah, I hear you, but I was just talking to these people first before you got on. I know you got on so fast. Hey, you hear me?
Can
You can hear me? That's on you then. Do you hear me now?
I'm gonna go get my other computer. Can you hear me?
No. Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm gonna get my other computer.
All right. See you later. All right. Hello, Miss Diane. So yeah. Came on here to talk to y'all for a minute because life is crazy. I want to tell y'all this. I love my people. I really do. I don't want to fight with nobody. I don't want to have no beef with nobody. I am myself. I am going to speak my mind, and I've always spoke my mind. And that's just what it is. Hold on. This is Danny. I'm live right now. All right. But yeah, I speak my mind. I'm always going to speak my mind at the end of the day. And I really think that you guys should speak your mind as well. But when you come on my post and you start talking about what I need to protest against, that's on you. Okay? I can protest against whatever I want to protest, just like you can protest against whatever you want to protest. Somebody today going to tell me that why don't you protest against the homeless? I mean, why don't you protest for the homeless? Why don't you protest for the homeless? Okay? If I want to protest Chicago Public Library for doing what they doing, then I can. Because again, y'all don't look at, like, you got to understand, we're dealing with a lot of money laundering. These people are laundering money in the name of everything. And it's Pride Month. I don't even do the whole Pride thing, like the Pride Month thing. You know, like I said, I used that a long time ago and all that stuff. But I ain't gonna deal with no drag story time. Nah. Because I feel like at the end of the day, your money could go to a little bit. You can go to other things, like when it comes to the library. Like the library, always talking about the lack of funding that they don't have, or this and that. So if you guys need to be focusing on other things, and that's just not it. And I'm just like, these people are just stealing so much money. Like even with this, like I need y'all to understand that I've been doing this for a long time, because I told you I didn't come into this being a politician. I ain't come into this wanting to be a politician. I came into this wanting these people to settle my mother's case. Like that was the thing that I wanted them to do. I wanted them to settle the case so I could go back and do what I was doing in Atlanta and minding my business and all that stuff and get my business going, my uncomfortable truth lifestyle. But I when I realized that Chicago's just going to be Chicago, and they're not going to back, and they're going to, and they're going to want you to fight for it. That yes, they're going to get, yes, you can show them all the evidence and all that stuff. They still going to find something wrong, right? I mean, they're going to say something. Like, they don't admit, they don't never not admit they're wrong. It's just that they're just not going to pay you. And they don't care. And my thing is, they're one of them things like just suffer. But while I was down there, I just watched all this money just being laundered. They laundering hella money. They laundering through public health. They laundering through human health aid. They did it through illegal immigration. Illegal immigration, that Brandon Johnson administration and his cronies, they stole almost $3 billion. Not million, $3 billion. Okay? That's like, them niggas is rich. That niggas, he is, you see how he don't even look, you see how he looked when he first came up in there and how he look now? Like, this nigga got ugly swag. Nigga still ugly, but he got ugly swag. But he's so confident because him and his homies done stole so much money when they first, they stole so much money so fucking fast. And I think people just like, that's the part that like blows my mind when it comes to how the local and the state do not see that as an issue. Like, y'all worried about Trump, Elon, y'all worried about Trump, y'all worried about this big, beautiful bill. We are, right now, we're paying a big, beautiful bill every time y'all see y'all property tax bill. They legit, we under attack, like American citizens, like that were born and raised here, like generations in, like ancestors literally built this like country, and I'm talking about white, black, like even the ones who the whites stole land and all that stuff. Like, nigga, we're under attack. You got in Chicago, you dealing with Palestine, Israel, Mexico, Venezuela, and Haiti. Because this nigga, Brandon Johnson is a Haitian. That is he's an adopted Haitian. They can play that storyline that his father was a pastor, he was, and mama was what she was, and they had adopted kids. If you look at that family picture and that note, that nigga is the adopted one. Okay, and that's where that nationalist shit come in at and all that stuff. That's a disrespectful piece of shit. Okay, and anybody that is, and he got this arrogance with him now, is real arrogant now, and that's the problem. Like, that's the problem. But these niggas have stole so much money. But you're dealing with a whole bunch of foreigners, and they all over the place. They're everywhere. Okay, they're everywhere, and because they are fighting to conquer America, they're conquering these blue cities because they know they can't do this shit in Florida. They know they can't do this shit, and they're trying in Texas right now with the Muslims. It's not gonna happen. You know they're not gonna do this shit in Florida. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain states you can't come to and you're gonna do this shit. But in the city of Chicago, you've got. I was telling somebody today, like, this is how pathetic the black leadership is in Chicago. But this is like, they all have to be removed. Every single one. There's none. You can't save none of these niggas. None of them. None of them. There's not one that you can save. Yesterday, with that immigration rage happening down there in South Loop, right? It was outside, right? Andre Vasquez, Brian Centro Lopez, Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez, Anthony Quezada, Beatrice Ponce de Leon, all them, gang, Hispanic, KKK, Jesse Fuentes, all that. Black teen takeovers. Where are the black aldermen? Nowhere to be found because they don't care. These niggas done sold out for literally nothing. And y'all continue to vote these people in because y'all are so worried about I just can't do Republican. I just can't do Republican. So I'm just gonna just continue to let them just fuck us over. Nah, man. And my thing is, I know a lot of y'all cannot come outside. I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of text messages, I got a lot of DMs, especially yesterday with situation with the Fox thing. I appreciate that, and I appreciate y'all supporting me. I appreciate a lot of people coming to me, stopping me, and thanking me, and saying that they're watching me and asking me. I hope they pray that I run for office and all those type of things, and that's great. But it's not going to change anything until you guys. And when I say you guys, Chicago citizens and people who love Chicago that are here and as registered voters in Chicago and the state of Illinois, you guys have to unregister as a Democrat and at least register as independent. I'm not saying y'all got to go full-thrown Republican, but y'all got to register as an independent to really send a clear message to these people. I understand you're going to get these dumb, corrupt politicians, established politicians, all kinds, Latino, white, black, the one Asian, and whatever else, little Indians that then snuck into government and say that, well, the city of Chicago, you don't have to declare, yes, you do. And stop, unregister, and send them a clear message. Send them a clear message and start independent. If you do not, then it's a wrap. It's like you literally gonna give y'all literally gonna give y'all city away to the foreigners, because there ain't that many white people here that's gonna be able to save y'all. So y'all gonna do this as a collective, and the Latinos gonna stick with each other now. And I'm trying to tell you, if a Latino get that mayor seat or the governor's seat, is over. It's a wrap. Let them stay in their places that they got. Delia Ramirez, Chuy Garcia, all that stuff, but it ain't nowhere in the world. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. I'm trying to tell you, it's over if you let them people get in as the mayor and as the governor. It's just not going. No. And honestly, when it comes to I don't know. I know y'all gotta pray about it, but yeah, I'm just letting y'all know that if you guys cannot come out and really be out here, feet on the ground, all that stuff, y'all need to make sure y'all register as a independent if y'all don't want to go full Republican. But real niggas need to go full Republican. If I run for office, I'm running as a Republican. I'm never, ever, ever, ever running as a Democrat. It's only Republican, and then from Republican it goes independent if I feel like I can't deal with the Republican Party anymore. But as far as our history, that's what needs to happen. But okay, yeah. No, I'm not a sucker at all. I'm far from a sucker. People, and that's the thing that irritates me too. I'm nowhere near a sucker. There's literally nobody that go a lot of people talk a lot of shit. Y'all talk a lot of shit, but do not be outside. Not one person, nobody has literally stood by my side when it came to the situation with my housing, the situation. So yeah, don't know. Now, a lot of people got a lot of shit to say, but do not be out here boots on the ground. So like I said, a real nigga, if you're rocking with it, as far as the history, is a Republican. And we are in that U.S. Constitution. And that's just what it is. And y'all really need to read the U.S. Constitution. But Black America, we need to rise up. And we need to rise up. The Democratic Party do not give a fuck about us. They care about them whites and them foreigners and that LGBTQ weird-ass agenda over there that they trying to push their pedophilia. In order to stop all this shit, y'all gonna have to go Republican or independent. But it ain't no sucker shit. The sucker shit is nobody not standing on the ground, like how they got all these Palestinians, all these fucking Mexicans, all this LGBTQ weirdos out here. They coming in droves. Where are we? Not nowhere to be found. That's just how it is. Like real talk. Yeah. So black people, Democratic Party is not for us. They don't care. You ready? You hear me? All right. What's up? You gotta unmute your mic. Let me see if I can unmute it.
Okay, my mic. Uh-oh.
Yeah. But it's echo. We got like 40. What's up with all this stuff? Again, I'm going. Real niggas. If you want to make a change in Chicago, Republican. That's the only way you're going to be able to send a clear message. I don't want to hear about Chicago don't do this. Chicago is the biggest liars and cheaters on earth. All the Democratic Party is a machine here, and that's it. In order to change that, you got to do that. Anybody that tells y'all something different, they on their agenda too. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel. Niggas do not show up to nothing. That's just real. That's the worst thing on earth. Motherfuckers got a lot of shit to say, but don't show up to anything. Are you ready? Well, now I don't know what this is.
All right.
I hear you right here. Say something.
How about now?
Yeah, just stay. Yeah, we just have to figure this out. I hear you with this. With the I don't know. You have an extra one. Hello. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
But I can't really hear you though. Oh man.
Well,
I wonder if that had something to do with that mic situation that we discussed earlier. I hear you very little. I can't hear you that well.
Why don't you turn your volume up? Is your volume down?
I did. I'm turning it up.
That's that because you were OG.
All right, hold on. Let me go back to this real quick. Let's see what's gonna do here.
Well, this is Mr. 37. Okay, it's a good friend of mine. I met Mr. 37 when I first started this mission. And the mission was last year. And 2 years ago, and I was not understanding the immigration situation. Like I was saying that it was just like, what the hell's going on? But I was fighting for the situation when it comes to my family property, and then just seeing like, damn, they're just pushing everybody out. But I met Mr. 37 because he was coming down to the city council meetings, he's coming to the committee meetings, and then there was little town hall meetings and things like that. And he would show up, and he used to have good suggestions, great suggestions, but everybody would everybody was heated at the moment. Everybody was going through their own stuff. The illegal immigrants was just suddenly popping up just on the south side, then it was popping up on the west side, and your aldermen and stuff is telling y'all and y'all communities they don't know why this has happened. It's out of their control. Meanwhile, they're down in City Hall voting for all of the BS because they're getting kickbacks and this piece of shit mayor is promising things. promising them everything. So yeah, so here we are. Here we are. So yeah, man. You gotta mute this one, and then we can use this.
You got it.
Yeah, all right. Just talk. You hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me just see something real quick.
Cause you had me on mute.
No, you just got. I don't know what you got going over there, but just leave it like that. Cause you got just leave it like that.
But you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, somebody said, I just want to hold on before you say that. Yeah, this right here, you and Danny are always by yourselves. I don't see any men with you too. Yeah, these men, everybody, you dealing with weak leadership out here. Like these men scared. They worry about they got some. As a couple of dudes to be like, I want to come out there, but I got all this stuff, on my record. I don't care what's on my record. Bring it out. We are under attack. Pretty soon we're not going to have nobody if we do not start. If we don't start doing something. So yeah. It's probably you're probably going to see me and Danny for a while. We got and Fuqua come out. But yeah, we out here. We're under attack. Where you at, man? You left again.
Okay. You hear me? You hear me now?
Yeah. Just leave it like that. All right, ready?
Yep.
All right. So it's 37 I met, like I said, 2 years ago, and what was I going to say? Where we at? I don't know if many people know about the reran, but that was something that was super dope. It was about a plan to eliminate all property tax. It was a dope idea, still is a dope idea. Also, he's a legend in these West Side streets. Very good. He's in the community a lot. He's a property owner. He is in law enforcement. And he knows a lot of things that make sense. And I feel like he has I feel like he has great ideas, and I feel like they're not being used because people do not want to see a solution when it comes to the South Side and the West Side, when it comes to anything that has to do with crime, with our housing, with our infrastructure. Like, we've gotten to the point that our representatives in government have sold us out completely, and they don't. And these people are incompetent, but people keep voting them in because I don't know why. I really don't understand why we don't vote. Like, when I think about it, I really don't understand why Black people don't vote. And people say, well, it's because it's the white man. Nah, this is just us. So yeah, it's getting to the point now that we gonna have to vote. Like, we ain't got nothing else but to vote, and no choice but to vote. But when it comes to that, we have to organize, and we don't organize because I don't even know why we don't organize. We don't do anything. We don't do anything that makes sense to us. We always find an excuse. But we'll be the first people to get on somebody's. Get on somebody's page and want to critique everything they're doing. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Well, then why don't you come down to City Hall? Why don't you come down to committee meeting? Why don't you run for office? Why don't you figure, nah, that's not me. That's not what I do. Well, then get off my page. Get off my page with your critiques, because at the end of the day, you're not doing nothing for the community. Yes, I do. What do you do for the community? Nothing. People do not do anything for the community. And that's the problem. Everybody shows up but us. We do not show up. We be the first to say we don't know. This person don't know what they're talking about. This person don't know what they're doing. This person will down each other, all that. Meanwhile, every other culture and nationality is eating. And they're going to continue to eat because we cannot get along. We can't even show, like somebody said, oh, we got to bring more people out. I don't have to bring, I tell people all the time, like, I'm my own, like machine. Like, I'm my own machine, man. I don't need a whole bunch of people if I can't get a whole bunch of people. Would I love a whole bunch of people out there? Absolutely. But I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait. Why would I wait? I didn't wait when I decided to protest outside City Hall. No, I just did it by myself, and eventually, God showed me the way. Did Gregory, my ancestors, all that showed me the way, and I'm doing pretty. I think I'm doing pretty decent for 3 years doing it. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep it. So unless I suggest, if you want suggestions, if you want to help me, then meet me down at City Council, meet me down at Cook County Board meeting, or show up to any of the protests or any of the community outreach. If you guys cannot do that, there's really not nothing else. Don't tell me how to civil right, how to do my protest, how to fight. Because I would never think that in 2025 I would have to be doing this for our people. And at the end of the day, I love myself enough to love our people, and our people don't even love. I don't even get the love back, and that's sick. But I'm not. It's not going to stop me. All right, let's get into this. All right, Howard, you want me to tell you want to talk about who you are, Mr. 37?
Yeah. I would just like to say, is it an echo? You hear the echo?
No.
Okay, so I would just like to say that thanks for having me on this show. It's a pleasure being on your podcast. I've been listening and following you guys. Yesterday I was looking at TV, right? They got the news on, and I'm hearing your voice. I'm like, did Zoe come in my house unannounced? But it's you on the news. You and Danielle on the news, and Beverly cutting it up. That instant moment, it reminded me of Set It Off. You, Queen Latifah, and Danielle Jada Pinkett. I said, how did they out there cutting up? But look, I'm glad to be here. I'm underneath the skies. I decided to set up in my backyard.
Okay.
And, I wanted to be underneath the stars. Yeah, I'm underneath the stars tonight. So let me explain who I am. I'm Howard Ray, aka Mr. 37. I ran for alderman the past time. I wasn't successful, but I'm gonna do it again because it's too much craziness going on in our community, and I wish our community would wake up. But I'm gonna help them wake up. I'm gonna be like, wake up every day with my bullhorn. We gotta wake up. I've been on the West Side predominantly all my life. I've been active in the community, boxing coach, worked in the community. I work everywhere I work has been on the West Side. I've been in everybody's house, backyard. It's unimaginable where I've been on the West Side. I've did several different campaigns. I'm actually the founder of West Humber Park Community Coalition. Zoe, it's similar to what you guys are doing. We are a not-for-profit organization, and what we do, we're oversight group. We have campaign for community benefit agreements. One of the big things that we did was we asked Amazon to pay our taxes, let us invest in the community, let the community invest in their programs or their business. It's a lot of other components, but only to be taken our policies to be used by the casino when they were trying to get the casino. They did a community benefit agreement. I tried to put, or the organization, we tried to put a stance on mental illness, where there was a guy that had the Nazi sign on the roof. They tried to make it a racial thing, but it was a mental illness, and we tried to let City Hall know about it. But unfortunately, the man committed suicide in a standoff. But we wrote letters. We said, get this man some help. We did everything to try to save that man. And then I did the Reconstruction Era Reparation Act now, where we tried to get, for the first time in American history, a referendum on a ballot, where Chicago and Cook County people wouldn't have to pay property taxes due to the internal displacement of people, colored people, black folks, and anybody that was a descendant under the 13th Amendment, they would be able to qualify, be eligible to get this benefit, which is exempt from property tax. But we needed 100,000 signatures. We weren't successful. I don't know. Like we said, we got to wake up our people. We really do. But we're going to revisit this. But so it's a lot more things I did, but we're going to get to tonight. And tonight is very important. Thanks for having me on here, Zoe.
Well, yeah, I think, like I said, the rerun was a dope idea, and I still think that it can work. I just feel like we just got to put it in front of the right people to make it make sense. And honestly, people who aren't just, I'm just tired of the negative Nancy's. I've chosen that I'm not going to deal with it anymore. Like if it's going to always be well, this can't happen, or this, that, or that, or they'll find this, and that. I just got to move on, because that's the problem with us. Everybody, like, it's just too. I can't have another country come over here and take over. So I can't. I'm not. And it is only us that don't see the problem, because they see red and blue instead of seeing the policies, or seeing, like what you got, like with everything that you have, the community benefits, what's this called? Make sure I got all this community benefits agreement. How you did the whole recovery team breaking this down. Like people, we need this. We need the information. That's why I'm thankful that you're able to do this, and I love to help our people. I know that we are not getting the information that we need to, because they're doing it on purpose. So they have us, indoctrinated. They have us thinking that we're losing hope and stuff like that, but we're not losing hope. But I also need people to believe. And if you think that the white man is holding us back and not realizing that we have 20 black aldermen who legit do not do anything for us. And then let's not talk about the Danny Davises. Now let's not talk about the Lieutenant Governor Stratton and all that. I mean, go on and on and on. Nah, it's us. It's us. We're living in field nigga, house nigga, modern day slavery, and it's time to get these people out of here. That's just what it is. But let's get into this. So the Community Development Block Grant, Disaster Recovery, City of Chicago, 2023-2024, disaster recovery over. Do you want to talk about a little bit before we get to the slides?
Yeah, so this discussion tonight, I just want to put out there, I'm just putting out the facts. I ain't trying to stop nothing. I ain't trying to orchestrate nothing. I just want people to hear the facts, because a lot of people have basement that still have mold in it. They can't rent out the basement apartment, and they're eventually going to lose their property, because if you know about mold is alive, and it will come up in your bedroom. and then it will come on your nose and your nostrils and get in your lungs and et cetera, et cetera. So we got to stop this. So I want to explain about this community development block grant disaster fund and how maybe you guys hear about it and then you can start complaining, talking to your alderman, talk to the OIG, write a letter and say, hey, city, Chicago, hood, this is the contract we want. This is how we think the $426,680,000 should be appropriated, allocated to our community. We just want to give y'all some help. That's what we on here tonight.
Okay. So what is this now? Is this a grant that it comes from the federal from HUD?
Yes.
Federal?
So let me give you a background. We had a two natural disasters that was declared a natural disaster by the federal government and even the state of Illinois, 2023 and 2024. Now,
what was the one, the NASCAR one?
Well, yeah, we had the flood, and then we actually had a tornado, right? That was in 2023, and 2024 was the tornado.
Okay.
And 2023 was the flood. So, both times we got assistance from FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and I want to break that down because there's a difference between FEMA and HUD, but both of them give natural disasters to different states and cities. Okay. And so HUD, which is Housing and Urban Development, was formed in 1965. It's a independent cabinet agency. It's almost similar to the other agencies like the CIA. They have a director, but they move on their own. You know, they get appointed directors and things of that nature, but they pretty independent. FEMA is under DHS, and they were created in 1978 by Jimmy Carter under the President Reorganization Plan, and they were incorporated into the DHS, so they also assist in natural disaster. So FEMA, this past 2 years, they allegedly gave $149 million to the citizens to help their basement out. Most people only got $4,000. What they never told us was how many people were assisted.
So what's $4,000 going to do for a flood in the basement?
Right. And if you divide, allegedly there's 1,600 people that got assistance. Okay. You divide 149 into 116, you're gonna get more than $4,000 per household. But that's another discussion. We'll discuss that later. Now, FEMA allegedly gave their money, but now HUD is giving their money, which we discussed earlier, which is called the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery. They're going to give $426 million, $608,000. So what they have to do and what they've been doing, really, I don't agree with it. They've gave 2 meetings under the best practice, which they're required to do, to let the people know how the money is going to be distributed.
Okay. Who's doing the meetings? Who is it, the city?
The city. Okay. So the city is the guarantee. So the money has to come through the city.
Okay.
And some of the rules that HUD stated was that you got to let the people know what's going on. Anytime there's federal money, there's what we call best practice. municipality have to hold a meeting. So what I want to do, Zoe, I need to go over some terminology. Can you go to the next slide,
Yes.
which is the now these are abbreviations. These abbreviations are very important. We just talked about the CDBG. We just talked about HUD. We talked about FEMA. I alluded to IA, which is called individual assistance. This is the money that individuals get in their homes after the disasters to repair their homes. Okay. Remember IA. Now, PA is called public assistance. This is the money that the government, the federal government, FEMA, or HUD gives the city money to fix their infrastructure if the infrastructure was destroyed by a natural disaster. We're going to focus on LMI. This is what mostly all of us are in these communities, low, moderate income people. And what happened, FEMA didn't give the city the PA money, even though the city tried to get federal money, but they would deny the city because FEMA stated that the natural disasters for both years didn't destroy your infrastructure. The negative or the negative routine or the negative, I'm going to put this better. The routine of neglect of the infrastructure destroyed your infrastructure. So what I'm trying to say is that they were denied because all these years they haven't been using the budget to fix the infrastructure. So FEMA said, no, that's not on us. Y'all should have been doing this. But we will provide money to the individual assistance because we see the tornado, we see the flood came in and did what they did to these individuals. So we will give you guys money. That's FEMA. But now the CDBG, they're going to try to come and help out the city and the IA people, which is the LMI people in the community. But what they're saying is that 70% of that $426 million have to go to the IA people if they haven't satisfied that unmet need. And then the rest of the money could go to the infrastructure. But as we talk, we'll see how the city is trying to reverse that. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Like I mentioned, these are, if you guys want to see it, these are the community development block grant, HUD, FEMA, individual assistance, public assistance, MID, most impact distress area. Right now, they're saying the 30th ward, the 37th ward, the 28th ward, and the 29th ward were the most heavily impacted area that was destroyed by the natural disaster touch. Okay. Now the people that's orchestrating all this from the city is the Office of Budget and Management. Ms. Guzman is the director of that. So they're the ones that's going to be orchestrating all this money. Okay.
And that Guzman, the one who can't even balance what we got now.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You know about her, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's go to the next slide. All right. You can go to the next one. So we just talked about this. Federal funds for recovery after the president declared a disaster. They must prioritize housing for low to moderate income families. Next slide.
All right.
What this grant is to do is to help restore people homes like they were before the floods. Next slide.
Okay. Is
I see somebody got a question. Did you answer your questions right? Oh, you
no,
okay?
this was
No,
just
go
someone
go
saying
go
that. Well,
go
no,
back.
what she said was the problem is the IA people refuse to fill out paperwork and get their money. I know people whose house was flooded, and I told them it was a natural disaster. They told me they didn't want it. Now, I will say that we do get discouraged, but that's because we do not have the proper people that will help them fill out. There's a lot of us. A lot of us are we keep dealing of years and years and years and years of trauma and years of the door being closed in on us, and slammed on us, and they don't like just like how they got bilingual people and classes and stuff to help these people, help these new arrivals come over here and get everything. It should be the same for us. So that's one thing I will say. All right.
All right, next slide. And I will say this. Yeah, a lot of people are discouraged. They don't have any hope, like you just said. But I know a lot of people that did fill it out and still waiting on their money and still haven't gotten their money. And still, most of everybody I know still got mold in their homes because $2,000 or $3,000 ain't doing nothing. So what Chicago is trying to do, they're trying to reallocate or allocate all of the $426 million to the infrastructure. And then out of that 426, that is what you call administrative cap. What they're doing, they're saying that they're going to take 5% of that administrative cap, and use it for the administration. Well, so that's like 21. That's like $21 million almost, right? You do the math.
Well,
I think.
what administration? This administration?
I don't know what it is. That's the stuff we need to find out. But I think it's for the OMB administrations, the city. It's crazy, right? Now
Brandon administration, the Brandon funds.
Now here's the killer. Pay, whatever you want to call it. Close attention to this 40 million. You remember I said they want to use a whole 426 million towards infrastructure?
Yeah.
But they want to give 40 million towards infrastructure. But guess where that 40 million coming from? It's borrowed money from the bonds. Now, why in the hell? This is midnight. Ain't no kids out here. Ain't no kids listen. Why in the hell would you borrow money when you got $426 million, but you want our kids to pay the 40 million back years later? That's the problem.
If this administration was not fuck them kids, if they don't care about the kids at all, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you're right. Our kids right now are in so much debt and they're not even born yet.
So here again, I'm not trying to stop nothing. I'm just trying to educate everybody. That $40 million, and when you tally up all the people who still need help, that's nothing. But here's the deal. If you're going to borrow $40 million, why not borrow $177 million and get everything done? But we still don't want you to borrow it. If you're going to borrow it, we still want to pay it off when the $426 million is awarded to the city of Chicago. And then use the rest of that money to fix the infrastructure. So let me just say this. Now, I'm not trying to orchestrate anything, but I'm giving suggestions. I think everybody that were affected by the flood, don't think you're going to go in there and get the best can lights, the best this, that's best that. Only thing I would say is that everybody get a check valve, which is a plumbing tube where if the water comes up underneath the streets, the check valve shut it down and the water keep going. That way you won't get flooded again. That's about 12,000 a pop, a house. Then, first of all, clean all the mold out the house. That's the number one thing. So let me retract. Clean the mold out first, and then give everybody a check valve that were affected by the floods. And I'll just say, if you weren't affected by the flood, everybody should be trying to get a check valve in their homes. Okay. So that administrative cap is crazy. All right. Let's go back to the slide though.
Okay, I was just making sure that I just let you know I got that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the agreement.
Right. Yeah.
All right, next.
All right.
Yeah, we just talked about this $40 million borrow.
So 4.6%.
No. That's just we're not gonna use the 4.6. That's that's a stock. Yeah, don't use that one. But the 40 million, we don't know what the bonds are right now.
It doesn't matter. We don't have we have no money, Howard, Mr. 37. Yeah. We have no money.
Yeah. So what's wrong with the plan? Prioritizing paving and planning over urgent housing needs. So I'm saying prioritizing infrastructure, which should have been done since Jane Burns, Daley, Ron Emanuel. Now we got the new mayor. That should have been done out of the budget, but we putting bike lanes. We doing all kind of crazy stuff with this money. Then max out administrative costs. We already discussed that. That's crazy. Now I would say this: the people, the LMI people, they should get 3% of that 5%, and then the administrative costs get 2%. Okay, cool. They're ignoring residents still living with mold and water damage. I went to a meeting. There were several seniors who are being affected by mold, because mold is not a virus, but it will attach to your lungs and try to live. You know, it'll kill you eventually.
Right.
So no plan to directly fund home repairs with majority of the funds. Now, this violate the HUD protocol, because under HUD, under the CDBG, you have to take care of the low, moderate income people first. That is the rule. But people have to know this. People have to complain. People have to ask questions. People have to ask about those numbers. How many people?
People have to sue. See, that's the problem. But we don't sue because we feel like we have to. I gotta find a lawyer. No, man, y'all gonna have to just start being your own lawyers, man. Y'all have to start suing. They're never gonna stop doing this if y'all don't start suing. Because yes, y'all are violating a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, that's the problem.
Next slide. So I just talked about 5%, 3%. What I'm asking for, dedicate 15% of the 70% of the LMI to allocation directed to the housing recovery. And then if you're gonna do it, borrow, the reason why I say 177 is because now we're finding out the South Side is needing help too. But so prior to that, we were just saying 78 million that would take care of the West Side. But what we're asking for is 15% of that 70%, 3% of that 5%, which is going to give us 18%, and then pause infrastructure spending until unmet housing needs are addressed, and empower residents in oversight and recovery decision. So if we take the 18% from that 426, that should take care of it. But if you don't want to do that, right now we need assistance. So if you're gonna borrow the money, go ahead and borrow the money, but make it enough. If it's gonna South Side gonna be included, we need that 180 million. All right, next slide. All right.
Where you get these African ass pictures?
We making it organic, man. We got hey, we making it organic. You know what I'm saying? So
What you got?
so June 6th is the proposed last date citizens can put their requests in. But I think they're gonna give a 60-day extension, which is
So
good.
that's in about 30 minutes.
I know that's why we got it. Hey, when you show that agreement, we're gonna show that agreement. Everybody need to get to email or screenshot it and send it in right away. But people in every community that's affected by the flood, they should organize a press conference, ask for a press conference, do their own press conference. We got social media. Uh, request a meeting with FEMA. I'm sorry, request a meeting with HUD. Like you said, pursue legal action like an injunction. Um, right, definitely write the Inspector General and contact your alderman. Get on them right away. Next slide. So yeah, this is the court stuff you were talking about, because there has been lawsuits where FEMA actually and HUD actually sued the city of Chicago when they found out that the city weren't doing their maintenance on their infrastructure. There's a case with FEMA versus city of Chicago not too long ago, where FEMA took back their money because they realized that Chicago wasn't shoveling their snow at the airport. So I don't know how they realized that, but they took all that money. It was $6 million. That happened, I think 2018. I'm not really for sure, but they took the money back when I was doing my research on case law. So basically, the problem is this, people. We're not reading what's need to be read. We're listening to what they tell us, and we're just shutting down, doing nothing. If they throw us $3,000, we're gonna take it, and then we're gonna have to move out of our homes, and then somebody else gonna come into our homes, rehab the home. Now you're renting again, or now you're homeless. There's a lot of people suffering from this storm, and guess what? It's about to be another storm. I hope not like before, but we're gonna have some more storms. Right now, I think the weather is a delay. We still kind of cold out here, and it's already June.
Is NASCAR coming back?
I think they got
If
the
NASCAR coming back, y'all definitely about to have a storm.
But see, we gotta, and I'm not gonna get into this, but we gotta start looking at this river, this channel, the North Channel, the South Channel. Those channels need to be taken care of, but that's a whole nother discussion, because it affects the West Side and South Side, because we're in the middle of all those channels. But I think the best thing now is for a lot of people to get them check valves in their basement, and the city should be using that money to do that. But
what about a pump?
Well, whatever it takes. But I think the check valve is because they got to put.
What is a check valve?
Okay, check valve is this. Underneath the ground in the streets, there's pipes. So you got pipes coming out from your home where water come in and out, sewer water come in and out, and it goes into the drain. It goes into the drain, and that drain from the city goes all the way to the river, and what they do, they clean the water out or whatever, and that's where it goes. But what happened with the flood, the water came up to the pipe, the drain to the level where your house is, and when it came up, it went back into the house. The force brought all the water back into the basement. But if you get a check valve, when that water tries to come back into the drain, it shuts down, it closes, and now the water has to keep going. Now, I think with all this money that the city is spending, in every neighborhood, there's business pretty much. Like we got Amazon, we got a couple of big businesses in our community, right?
Right.
and basically they're talking about retention pond. I mean, retention. This they got to spend a lot of money on retention, this and that.
Yeah, the retention pond is starting to be a scam too. They just displaced about 10 elders in Harvey for the retention pond. So this is starting to be this is the new eminent domain, but it's not eminent domain. But that's a new racket, the retention pond, and it goes through the water reclamation. Who's the president of the water reclamation is Carrie Steele, and she has her real estate license, and a lot of these people have real estate license. So all of this is just a real estate criminal enterprise with the city, the eminent don't. Yeah, it's just messed up. Okay, sorry.
But and here's the thing: you want to spend all this money on these so-called programs, and it's good what the water reclamation is trying to do. But we already got retention pond. We're not using it. Like I mentioned, Amazon. They got a pond that they never use. If they use that pond over there on Augusta and Costner, a lot of these basins would have been flooded. So whenever you have business in your community, like these big business, big box business, they should get, since they got the land for free, they should have built. We should make them build a pond, because when you build that pond, that's a lot of cubic. I'm not no measure. I mean, I don't know nothing about cubic, but I'm gonna sound good. That's a lot of cubic water inches going into that pond. You know, that would have stopped a lot of this flooding, right? But
Right.
I really believe that, you know, a lot of the stuff they talking about doing, they just trying to keep up with the Jones. Oh, this city, we keeping up with Washington D.C. Or we keeping up with Los Angeles. We got this, we got that. No, let's keep it simple. We got the stuff already. Just utilize it. You
These
know.
people are stealing, right? Like this is theft. I understand that you can't really say this, but I'm gonna say it for you. This is theft. Like Miss Diane said, that that FEMA doesn't come out and cut people checks directly anymore.
Say
Like
it
we
again.
gotta go through. They gotta go through this BS. Like they gotta go through the city. Like she said, like she had a flood a few years ago. FEMA came out and cut her a check directly. They don't do that anymore.
I they, from what I hear, they sell you. I mean, you put in your bank account, but FEMA already gave their money. We talking about the HUD now.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, okay, well even with HUD, like so it's okay. So basically, say you have a flood,
Mhm.
and you call your I don't know, you call your insurance company, who comes out, FEMA, HUD, like, or
Oh,
you got to go through the city and do all
so
this.
so what they're doing? That's where FEMA and HUD, they still work together, even though they're different agency. They're taking all the data from FEMA. So whatever FEMA came out and they assessed the basement, and they said,
Okay.
yeah, these basement need, they did get flooded. So HUD is only thing HUD is doing is just taking um, that information, and then that's where you got the unmet needs. And so they were supposed to have these 501c organizations to come and verify everything, and do they data, and do they you get all the information, and then they're supposed to send it back to the city. But all that's controversy too. And then HUD's supposed to get the money up. So
Okay.
that's how that's supposed to go. You know. So like me, Zoe, if we complain about something, we want to have a solution. And this is what I think we should do. This is what I only heard what we should do from people at meetings, me canvassing the neighborhood, me talking to people who basement has been flooded. This is a contract. This is something that I think people should right now screenshot, or they can go to CWHPCC at gmail.com and ask for this agreement and then send it in. So basically, this is a community disaster relief agreement. And basically, it got the west side on there, but if you write it yourself, you could put, the south side on there, but
Yeah,
you
this is
have,
basically a template.
yes, a template. But you gotta, if you're gonna put the South Side, you gotta figure out what area was considered a disaster area.
Well, there's a lady, Miss Lynn. She was telling me she's still dealing with, and she's on like 82nd and Stony, like I think she's like in the Peel Hill area. She said that she was still dealing with the effects of some flooding from 2 years ago. I
Yeah,
just yeah.
if she was, if FEMA came out to those Southside residents, then they are eligible too. And then you can Google it what ward got affected on the South Side. But on the West Side, it's been identified with those areas that I named. So here what I'm saying is the parties that were involved are the West Side communities, City Hall, Mayor Brandon, the council members, and other
The
departments.
Disgrace 50, the worst mayor of all time.
Cook County government, that's under Brett Winkle and the commissioners. I forget how many commissioners there. 70. How many commissioners do we have? I can't remember. I used to know that number. And then the housing and urban development. So all these people, all these entities are involved with this community development. Now, what we're proposing is to establish a transparent and equitable process for distributing federal community development block disaster relief fund to eligible residents for homes repaired due to damage from federal declared natural disaster. The background: June 2023 and July 2024, Cook County experienced 3 significant natural disasters. June 29th to July 2nd, a severe storm and flooding. September 17th to 18th, heavy rainfall caused flash flooding. July 13th to 16th, 2024, severe storm, tornadoes, straight line winds, and flooding. We've been hit with the migrant situation. We've been hit with nature. Then we've been hit with this violence. Chicago, man, if you can make it in Chicago, you can make it anywhere. God dang. The event led to substantial property damage, particularly in low-income communities. Now, federal assistance received was $340 million. Housing assistance, personal property, that was through FEMA grants total. HUD, we trying to get to 426. Cook County 244. But we try, when we're talking about Chicago, it's 426. Eligibility and application. Next, residents affected by aforementioned disaster are eligible to apply for assistance. Applicants, resident homeowner. Also, if you rent too, you can get some assistance.
You have to have renter's insurance, right?
Well, no, this is under the grant. See what happened was the insurance companies didn't cover a lot of people. It's a tragedy. But if
you guys start suing the insurance companies too, because that's a problem too.
That's a problem. So if you apply for it, FEMA at the time, and you was a renter, you could get some money too. Documentation, because a lot of people have stuff in the basement too that rent. Documentations of disaster related damage. Okay, so now let's get to the nitty gritty here. I know it's getting late. What we're proposing is, upon the receipt of the Department of Building and Coordinate Inspection to verify damage, okay, approved application would be eligible for funding up to a maximum of $50,000 per household. That's what we're proposing. Residents who have filed a claim with FEMA will be exempt from paying City of Chicago building construction permit fees related to disaster repairs. So we want this thing to be smooth. We don't want you to have to, we want to streamline. We don't want you to have to go through all that permit stuff when you get new stuff in the basement, especially with the check valves. Hey, we know y'all doing it. Let's roll. Get this check valve done. Y'all don't even have to come down here and get the permits. All right. Fund distribution. Approved fund will be held in escrow by the City of Chicago. City use 3%, 5% administration cap money to fund municipal department like streets and sanitation, building department, to hire teens, adults working from LMI communities for disaster cleanup and infrastructure repair. So what that's saying is that the money that's from the administrative cap, let's hire some of these teens to clean out the mold. Some of these adults to clean out the mold. Some of these teens and adults to dig up the dirt where we got to put the check valve. Let's put these people to work. Put these contractors to work, but it'd be under the city also, where the city would pay. It could be done where the city would pay a salary, for these people, almost like a summer job, almost until everything is done, right? So that's one thing. Let's see. And then fund will be released directly to contractors upon satisfactory completion or repairs. So that's for the contractor.
Licensed contractors.
Mhm.
We gotta start doing like them from the LMI community too.
Yeah, definitely. Everything should be from the LMI community, but everybody got to be prepared to work. If they came with this thing tomorrow, will we be prepared? I don't know. I'm kind of scared to even answer that question. But we got to get on it. We got to get ready, people, because they gonna call us out one day, and we're gonna be like, oh, well, I ain't ready yet.
Well, I mean, they got everybody else prepared but us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the problem is everybody is prepared but us because they haven't designed it all. That's a whole nother story. Okay.
Is it another one? Let's see. Go to the next one. I think that's about it.
It's right here. The last photo.
Yeah, a joint committee comprising community representatives, city officials, and county officials will oversee the program implementation and all reps' names made public. Uh, Regular reports on fund allocation and project status will be made publicly available. So that's the contract. So what we're saying is, and I didn't have in there. I don't think I had in there that on the other one. I forgot to send you the other one, but it was in here also where
We'll always do part two of all this now.
we can't again, to the people who got basements. You can't go in there and get you a $50,000 basement when you only had a $10,000 basement. But what we will do is take care of the main thing, and then if you want to upgrade your basement from there, we're asking the city to give the flood victims 3 years of tax exemption. Now you can use that discretionary money to do whatever you want to do with the basement, to upgrade it some more. But you've been suffering for 3 or 4 years, and you still paying taxes. You've been suffering for these years. Now give these people some tax exemption for their worries, for their hospital bills. So that's I didn't send. I should have sent the other one, but it's a couple more. I got like several versions of these, but the one that we want to go down to City Hall and to the HUD is the other version with that tax thing on there. And if you want, again, you can call 224-370-1242 and leave a message. I want a copy, and leave your email, or you can send an email to cwhpcc@gmail.com, and I'll send you a copy over, and then you can send that to your alderman and send that to the OIG and send it to City Hall. But tomorrow is June 6th.
Or just vote
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Listen, I ran last time. Out of 52,000 people that's registered to vote in my community, we only had like 6,000 people that voted. I'm gonna lose again if 6,000 people vote.
Right.
I need 13,000 people to vote, 15,000 people to vote. That's the only way I'm gonna win. That's the only way anybody gonna win in any ward that's trying to become the new and improved alderman or even any city official, because the ones, the incumbents, they getting a regular loyal people, and they mostly old people. So y'all young people, y'all out here listening, or if you know some young people, please start getting these people to vote. Please.
It said, Mrs. 37, please drop your contact info. I'm gonna give all that contact info also in the comments I just gotta figure out how to do this.
So let me say this. I know this is we're talking about what we're talking about.
What's the phone number you said?
It's 224-370-1242 and the 42
1242.
and the email
Mm-hmm.
is cwhpcc@gmail.com.
CWHPP.
It's Charlie William Henry Paul Charlie @gmail.com. And another thing, Zoe, I know you guys been preaching this. In order for people to get in City Hall that's new, there has to be a coalition of new candidates. We
Hell yeah.
we have to get out here and recruit new candidates in every ward, every district. And these new candidates have to get together and we just have to form maybe 3 to 4 platform categories or topics or whatever you want to call it. And we are all going to promise to bring those topics to City Hall and vote on it. I'll give you an example. You know, I'm big on this tax thing, right? I don't think we should be paying taxes and water bill. It's so much money out here. I got an economic strategy. It's called the People Fund, but I want to discuss it tonight. That we don't have to pay property taxes and water bill. Right now, there's 44 communities in Illinois, in Cook County, that don't pay property taxes, like Melrose Park. I mean, not Melrose Park. Moni, Illinois. You got Rosemont. You got that my mind going blank. But there's 44. Believe me, you can look it up. They don't pay property tax. And these places they got money. They got that formula though, and we got one too. But people ain't listening to me though. But that's all I want to say.
I'm listening. We go ahead. We can always have Mr. 37 on here because at the end of the day, you just taught me all, but I already knew the FEMA's the West Side FEMA scam, you know. But you breaking it down and really like having the slides and stuff like that, and that's what we need, and that's why I don't mind doing. It's just that we need to come together. Like you said, we need to come together. We need to talk because we one big dysfunctional family, and
Yeah.
that's just how I feel it is. And this is just something that I don't think I know I was never prepared for. So it gets frustrating at times. And I tell people like I'm not a politician, so I'm not gonna sit here and smile and say what I need, just so I can win people over. Like if I can't win you over, me being transparent and me just and seeing how much work I'm putting in to show you guys how much I love. My goal is to get these people in jail. Like I'm not gonna probably smile until Brandon Johnson go to jail. Like I'm prison. Like these people are criminals. They stole too much of your tax dollar money and will not help the community out. Like ain't no like I can't like Emma Minton. That's your war. It's no way in the world she should still keep getting voted in. Like they say she may be running again. Emma Minton, no, you don't even. Did she show up to any of them meetings?
And she did what?
Did she show up to the meetings?
I missed the meeting, but the meeting I was at, I didn't see her. You know about these meetings, they only gave 2, but when they had the casino, they gave the red carpet, news, they special TV channel. This is more important than the casino, but the city, when I understand it was under a different administration, but this is very important. They should have, gave more meetings and gave more. I don't even know. They should have mailed flyers. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. But I just want to say this. This is very important. This $426 million under HUD, do not let them tell you that it has to go to infrastructure first. That is not, when you read the HUD guidelines, it has to go to the unmet people. Recognize that word unmet
Well,
is
how
still.
much infrastructure money do we need with no infrastructure? Because he just barely passed, but our beautiful city council down there helped him pass the 835 million infrastructure that we're going to end up. The kids are going to end up having to pay for. And now you're talking about this infrastructure. It's just infrastructure and TIF is about to be the same thing. This is racket. Like people got to go to prison. That's it. No money should be coming here until we get forensic audits. And then honestly, when it comes to the money going to the west side, because when people talk about the south side flooding too, but people really talk about the west side flooding. And I feel like people need to start really demanding a forensic audit and when it comes to all that money that's supposed to go to the west side when it comes to floods.
If I'm king, this is what I would say. Go ahead and borrow that 177 million. Because this mold ain't playing, right? Get this taken care of because it needs to be done, right? But in that same contract, any money coming from the grant or any extra money come from anywhere, it need to pay that 177 right back. Ain't no we'll pay it back in 50 years. None of that. Pay that money right back. But we do, because I've seen these people, so they in trouble with these basements.
I know.
My basement flooded, but I'm young and I'm fortunate enough to keep a little money underneath my mattress. So I was able to do some things, take care of some things, But the money that FEMA is giving out to people, that gave out to people, is garbage. It's garbage. What did they say?
He said, even when Mrs. 37 gets elected, he isn't a politician. He is a leader and a solution provider. I like the solution provider because that's the thing.
Yeah.
You do come, even with the immigration thing when I first met you.
Yeah.
We had a solution. It's just the fact we just dealing with a lot of negative Nancy's and negative Larry's.
Man, listen, if I went all over the city and everybody loved that solution, but we just didn't have enough. We don't have enough. The people is the government. It's point blank.
Right. The people are the government and the people are the customers.
But if people, I get it. People overwhelmed because people have to go to work to take care of their kids and then come home. They don't want to be bothered with all this chaos because they living comfortably, or they surviving living. So anything extra could be overwhelming. Then you got on the west side, I call them the L people. They hang out under the L's on Central Park and Lake. Them people, I won't get on them, but they need to be at home getting ready, for the next morning, reading the bedtime story to their kids, and then learning what we've learned, trying to get better, trying to build a better quality of life. If we can get them L people, I call them the L people. If we can get them on page, though, man, this city is much better because they got the power, but they don't even know it. You know what I'm saying?
So the 29th ward needs help too, but we're overlooked by the rest of the west side because we're viewed as uppity and too white. It's most elite and whitest part of the west side, but still black.
The 29th ward, that's
And that's
Teleferro. They 29, y'all got Galewood over there. Yeah, it's true. Now 29th ward got hit also, but the thing about everybody, we got to help everybody. If you're in trouble, we got to reach out to you, and if you see somebody in trouble, you got to reach out to them. That's how I look at it. So yeah, I don't. That's a whole nother subject.
He's in Galewood.
Huh?
He's in Galewood.
Yeah, Galewood. That's one of our. It's a nice community. They got some nice houses over there. Yeah, so, but they got hit too.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
Yeah, they got hit.
Did you hear about the police officer shot today?
No, I didn't hear about a police officer shot today. When that happened?
Well, this evening. Actually,
29 minutes ago.
Well, actually, it's probably been about an hour, but he's or I don't know if it's a he or she, but they passed away.
Oh my God.
It was in
Really?
Chatham. It says a
Well,
Chicago police officer was shot just before 10 p.m. on the city's south side, according to multiple police sources familiar with the matter. The shooting occurred near the 8200 block of South Drexel Ave in the city's East Chatham neighborhood. Oh my God. The female officer was transported by other officers in a squad car to University of Chicago Hospital in critical condition. According to Chicago Hospital, expected to deliver an update near you. And they say she passed away. Now, uh, and stuff like that gives
yeah,
me
it's sad.
chills
Yeah, yeah.
because I
You
know a
know,
lot of police officers that
it,
are women and men.
I'm gonna say this, Zoe. It's too many guns on the street. You know, we I did some research, and what's happening, I don't know if people doing straw line. What I mean by straw lines, like they buying these guns and then they somehow giving it to the wrong people. But we got a lot of guns so-called lost, and ever since they legalized guns, there's a lot of guns that's being lost. So again, we got to have a solution for that. And people may not like what I'm about to say, but if you losing these guns, then you should have to pay $10,000 in order to get your Ford car back.
No, real talk. No, you
You
know
know what I mean?
facts.
Because people losing more guns than they lose their phone. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna lose
Yeah, and guns
guns?
and phones ain't killing nobody.
Right, right. So it's a lot of stuff going on. But again, that's a whole nother subject.
That's
I,
why
I'm,
people now real talk. Like we have to, and I'm talking about as all citizens, like all
yeah,
Chicago citizens, all people who care about Chicago, the state of Illinois, America, the country. We need to we got to do like PTA, but like PTA for government. Like we have to be involved. Like if y'all don't want to run, cool, but y'all got to be involved. Like in community, y'all have to hit these people. Like we are. It's we live in a lawless. It's wild out here. Like even with the kids, like they saying that every time the new freight trains and all the freight trains are getting hit up again. I always say like they're the new guns right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what like I feel like I'm really for like martial law, man.
yeah. Well, that's what it's coming down to. But you got to be careful with that too. But we really on the flip side, it is martial law because I mean I can't go. I don't sit on my front porch anyway. But if I want to, I still got to worry about a stray bullet. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
guess what? I
Yeah.
stay in the house. Yeah. So
But this is the I'm really trying to figure out. I know it shouldn't be about color or race, but I'm trying to figure out this lady who was killed today. Was she black or brown? Because I don't see no white women cops on the south side. So if it's a Latino, this is the third Latino officer that was killed in on the south side from a black person. So if and that's my fear. It's a lot of Latino, Hispanic cops that are over in our areas, and I just feel like we need to. I was talking to one of my cop friends yesterday. Shout out to my buddy. I've known her for over 10 years. And one of the things she was saying, because I was like, well, is like, why is it more black people like, trying to apply? Is it because, he's not cool or whatever? And she was like, no, she was like, we do. We do a lot of recruiting. Like, I mean, like we're out trying to recruit. She was like, the issue is no one's coming. Like no, like they'll set up different tables, different places. They were at the colleges. She said there's some high schools. She's like, but no one is showing up. So like we got to get like I don't know, like I was telling her like we gotta start having some more like officer friendly, maybe some panels and stuff, and maybe we have to do them like our organizations and stuff like that because and we have to get these officers back in school because that they need to have that rapport and that relationship with students. So if anything does happen, then they have somebody that they trust, but also inspired to be a police officer or be a firefighter or be, you know, in the service or something like that. Because but we don't have no role models. That they the media and stuff has made police, especially for our community, they're the op, and that's and you know, I ain't doing that, and y'all ain't going, you know, call me no pig. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just all this stuff, and it's not fair because y'all are needed. We need y'all. You understand? You know, and so I just feel like we have to revamp that. We need, you know, so I don't know. I'll talk about that another time with you, you know, but we do got to figure that out because we're not signing up.
I'll just say this. Like my father, he tried to get a bill passed. He sent it to a couple of elected officials in the west suburb, and he tried to make it state law, or whatever. One of the things he was trying to do was get law enforcement classes in high school, and instead of having study hall or those crazy elective, what you do is teach the kids the constitutional law as they teach in any academy, then teach them the protocols, just the whole law enforcement system. And what happens is when you know something, you understand it. You know if you get pulled over, now you know why you're getting pulled over. I put on a light too late or whatever. And then if you know you're getting pulled over for some bogus reason, then you know what law to apply. And so, but a lot of times with people we're not being educated on the Constitution, not being educated on how law enforcement is. The only thing you have is your anger, and that's God given, and that's retaliate. You know, get off me, and then now here we go. So I think you have to teach. You know, you have to teach. It's education. You got to teach. You know, I like to tell that person, nice
Is this
meeting.
lawyer?
Huh? No, somebody else said. Somebody said I was nice. Said
Oh
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, power.
Power.
No.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I
But this
appreciate it.
one, she said, Miss Diane said the DOJ did a study a few years ago that showed that black applicants did not finish the process. They could have addressed why those applicants didn't finish and intervene, but no one did. Like I said, that's where I think I know for myself. Like I know for myself that I have tried to like apply for certain stuff and I know that I qualified. I also know that I did everything right, and still can't get it. You understand what I'm saying? I still can't get, still couldn't get it, and so I feel like some of this shit is roadblocks uh, due to algorithm, due to uh, senses when it comes to what are we writing down. You know, black, African American, other, white. You know, I just feel like it's just we are just I don't fucking know.
Yeah, listen, Zoe, and you heard me say this before, and people
Yeah,
may not like what I'm about to say, but right now we are sick people. But the thing about sick people, I was listening to the minister. I always use this: when you have a sick person, you have to quarantine them, and then when you quarantine them, you have to bring them all the resources to get them back in health. Once they get healthy again, now you reintroduce them back to society because they're strong. Right now, we ain't been quarantined. We still sick, and we just spreading whatever we got. We got people walking around here don't even know why they even mad. You know, we got
There's
people.
a lot of undiagnosed. Like no
Yeah,
one doesn't address the mental health crisis, and that's
yeah,
what I was telling her yesterday. I was like, are you got like, is there mental health training when it comes to And so she was like, well, the officers see a therapist and stuff. I said, well, I understand y'all, but like to train with these with these people, like we're dealing with we're in a world, and I'm saying a world, like I mean, like we're in a country full of undiagnosed people, including people that's in government, but like we are in like it's messed up out here.
yeah. I think with the mental illness and even with the disaster is making a lot of people mental illness because they've they're scared, anger all the time. But I think that we have to bring back the facilities and be able to put these people in facilities,
That's
and then
why Rahm Emanuel should never Rahm Emanuel should never be on anybody's mind about voting. He shut down all the mental health facilities, and I mean, even Marianne Ahern. Like that's what I like. Marianne, she's a NBC reporter, but you keep interviewing this devil is crazy because he did a lot of shit. Like it's really fuck wrong.
and we gotta figure out who's mental ill. We got they need to send some people out and interview these mental ill people, and we gotta put them in a place where even if they out here, but we need to have their names. He got this illness. He got this illness, so people could know how to respond to that person when
Right.
they're approached. So yeah,
Well,
yeah.
maybe that needs to be on your platform. When
Listen,
you
the front line cover two. Hey, listen, I just sit at home, so I didn't got to a point, and it's dangerous too because my mind is always thinking. When I was young, I would never thought I'd be just sitting at the crib thinking, and sometimes I can't shut it down. I got like so many, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but like what I'm just talking about, frontline cover two, it's a plan, it's a crime proactive strategy. It's cold blooded. It'll work, but what's gonna really work though? Crime will decrease in Chicago. Things will get better in Chicago, but it's called internal displacement of people. So what's happening now is a lot of the people, unfortunately, who were doing crime, they're being relocated because of economics. But what's happening, the people who weren't doing the crime, they also are being uh, uh, displaced because of economics. And when you on the west side, I'll give you an example. I had a building at the 4800 block of Jackson. I was
Mhm.
renting out, and I couldn't get the market rate, so I couldn't keep up with the expenses. And so I just always just pretty much maybe made $300 over. But if I was able to keep up the market rate, because the building was immaculate, like somewhere up north. So I remember one time, man, I had a real good tenant, a prospective tenant, and we came out the house, and she was like, "I really love your place. I'm gonna go home and take the application. We on the porch. I'm gonna fill it out, and I give you back, and I can give you the deposit." As soon as she said, "I'm gonna give you a deposit," some fool monkey dude walked down the street. Hey, bring them blows down the street. They want three of them. Man, I was so mad. Bring them blows. When that lady got in that car, I went down there, and it went down. But that you can't get market rent, and so what happens is though we lose our home, and then we got to go out to be with the people we are trying to get away from because that's where our money gonna put us. And then now we got a new group of people moving in our neighborhood, and now they get the benefit from a crime-free neighborhood. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and uh, that building, is it gentrified? Like, is that neighborhood gentrifying yet?
Yeah. So what happens is, um, the West Side, I say this: in the '80s, they dropped crack cocaine in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
2020s, they dropped migrants in our neighborhood. And I have nothing against any of the migrants, illegal migrants or illegal alien, whatever you want to call them. I think that the government really screwed us because they put a group of people that didn't know anything about our neighborhood. So our neighborhood has totally changed. All the vacant houses, somehow they got them. Um, to me, we're human species, but but when you drop pythons in Florida, they got a major problem because they're invasive species, right? And the culture, it's not clashing where it's racism or anything, but
Right.
it's clashing where it's people losing their homes and then a new group of people coming in, and some reason the resource is not equal, and so that's what's happening. So we do have uh, a lot of people from different countries, and then we have like a lot of white folks moving in our neighborhood too. Um, but it's fine, but no one should lose their house and then somebody else come and take it. If you sell your
Right.
house, it's something different. But if you lose your house and now a group of people is getting resources from the government, that was a scheme. You know, when I dealt with the Census Bureau years ago, I see where this is going. They are using drones.
Yeah. Talking about the shooting out there in 80.
Oh
They
yeah,
found a rifle and all this. Oh, and they say the person's name is Cristo Rivera.
yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
You said
everybody got to be careful out
uh,
here. Mhm.
you said with the census. You said when you saw this, the Census Bureau. You said.
Yeah. So in 2021, I did some research, and I found out that a lot of money that the government that was going to allocate to various neighborhood, it didn't get allocated because one, our community, West and South Side, due to the riots and stuff, a lot of the census takers didn't come to the community and do the census, right? Another thing is the count is dead wrong because a lot of people in the various ward, 37 ward or Chatham, Austin, Inglewood, unfortunately, we have a lot of our young people and older people also were arrested and they were sent to prison downstate. So what they did, they counted those bodies down there. And so when they counted those bodies down there in the census, they got a lot of funds because they had the bodies down there, right? But these bodies are not in jail for life, not even 10 years. Some of them got 3 years, whatever, for drugs, whatever. Then they come back to the community they came from, they were arrested in. And so what happens, that strangled the neighborhood because now the money is not here. So you go back to the Austin community, for example. You don't have no money. Now you may have to steal, rob, you got to borrow money from grandma, and things are harsh when you had when the money was down there. So when I talked to the Census Bureau in Washington, D.C., they said, hey, what you can do, Ray, you can ask for a sensory modification, but what you got to do, you have to get all of the aldermen and the city officials to sign off on it, and we'll do a modification. And if the numbers are different, we'll reallocate the funds back to where they should be. But you have to do it before 2020, 2022 of May. I may have the numbers off. It's been a long time now, but you have to do it before the June 2022 June. And then so when I sent all the letters to the aldermen, I think it was only one or two that responded. I think Lopez, he responded, and I think another alderman, but my alderman, she didn't respond.
No, I don't think your aldermen know how to read.
I can't. Hey, I ain't. Hey, I'm gonna leave that alone. Damn. Okay, but she didn't respond. But that's what happened. And so what happened was that actually cut out some of our boundaries, districts. Like Congressman Davis, he lost. He was all the way up to North Avenue because of the census. He came back to Chicago Avenue, so he lost a lot of people. But it's crazy. I can go on and on, but people got to wake up. You know, it's a lot of stuff going on. You know what? With Black folks, I think that we only respond to when we are getting called.
Black folks need to understand that we don't have an allegiance. Nobody has an allegiance to any of these political parties. But we have to understand as Black Americans, freedmen, that we legit can go independent, but we're not ready to have that conversation, and we're not ready to do it because you've got people. We're indoctrinated. Like it's. I mean, I know you've had the days like when you just be like, man, fuck it. Like I just like like it's like Mr. Gregory. I mean, like you like, wow, I don't know why the old man's so angry. It's like, cause like how. Like that movement that they did was like he said, it was a rhythm. You know, you had Muhammad Ali, you had Jim Brown, you had King, you had X, you had Mr. Gregory, you had Megan Evers, you had the real people that really came out, the celebrities, even when people always say, well, Malcolm X called Lena Horne and Dick Gregory puppets and stuff like that. I was like, before he realized who was the real ones and who wasn't, I always say that, like, nah. I was like, when I first got in this game, they called me all types of stuff. Oh yeah, the LGBTQ people were sending her in here to infiltrate. What? I got a whole federal case. This motherfucker.
That's what I was about to say. So, do you think because in the '60s, in that time frame, maybe because their back was against the wall. Anytime you put somebody with their back against the wall, they got to come out swinging. But here, you fast forward to the time we comfortable. We got cars. We can dress up when we want to, but not knowing the policies are killing us slowly, right? I think that's. It's just like this with natural
media too. Media is like, I didn't realize how messed up media is. Like media is the problem because
that's the fourth executive branch. You know that, right? Media is the fourth executive branch.
Yeah, like that's the problem. That's the problem. And then now, you know, you got websites where you legit can pay for 1,000 protesters to come out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it may look like, you know, it's a grassroots movement, but it's not. So I think that's a thing where people, when I do my thing, like I want, if 10 people can show up this day, great. If 2 people can show up this day, great. If 3 people can show up this day, great. Because I feel like one thing I do have now is a following. Our group has a following. So like when I was down there at the drag thing, 3,000 people was watching.
Yeah.
3,000 people was watching.
Yeah.
So I feel like the movement right now for this generation, this millennium, and it is I call it the final movement, and it's everybody. Like it's the boomers that got common sense, Gen X that got common sense, the millennials that got common sense, Gen Z starting to see the bullshit. The issue is, and Gen Alpha is starting to see it. The thing is, they're just looking for someone to lead them to what makes sense. They see that this don't make any sense, but they're also not going to put their lives on the line if it doesn't make any sense. But then they will if we tell them what it is. Like it's a lot of kids, it's a lot of young men and women that stop me and they say, "Oh, we see you on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? We watching you." Da, da, da. You know, so I think it's about the information. I think, like I said, I think we need to get in community more. We need to have panel discussions. A lot of people always talk about, like, you know, we need money, we need this. We need prayer, faith, God, and votes.
Right.
And people need attention. Like I said, we're dealing with a lot of people. That have abandonment issues. You have a lot of people that are dealing with parents and grandparents and their guardians and siblings who have drug addiction. You have another thing that was the illegal immigration thing messed us up. But I mean, it's a lot of people, and I mean everybody that's on this fentanyl shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's getting to the point is that's bad. You know that you got Narcan was like you just anywhere. I seen a guy the other day. I thought nigga was dead. They was like, nah, just give him some Narcan. He'll be all right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is not normal. And it was a white guy and a black guy just out here in Hyde Park just leaning.
Doing the Matrix. The Matrix, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me say that because I'm gonna have to get off.
Okay, yeah.
Let's recap. People, it ain't too late. We got to voice our opinions about this grant money, this HUD money. If you want to organize, hey, give us a call. We need to get down. We have to get down the HUD. We can. But if you need that contract, if you think that contract is cool, sign off on it. We can try to drop it off. We can get it to them or whatever the case. Email it to them. If you want to add something to your contract, add it. But I think this is what should be done. And I will send Zoe the updated version with the taxes in there. But it got to be done, people. They may extend it for another 60 days. That'd be cool. But we got to promote what we need and want. And again, these people basements, we got to help them out real quick. So if they're gonna do the 40 million, let's go ahead and do the 170. But they got to pay that money back with that grant. That's got to be.
Well, I feel like it needs to be a demand too. So I think maybe we need to figure out demand, because at this point, if they don't get their basement taken care of over there, you need to take me to these people, and I need to do a video with them, and then I need to go down there to City Hall and tell them y'all got 21, y'all got 14 business days to take care of this mold over here, and I'm gonna have to read what mold does, because clearly y'all don't understand, and I get it because y'all don't care. But next is a lawsuit because CHA and HUD has taken Chicago housing away from Chicago, giving it to the federal government to oversee it. And they may have to do it again when it comes to HUD and all this stuff. Chicago needs to be on probation.
Yeah. What this what I'm gonna do. There's a young lady by the name, her name is Princess Shaw. She's actually leading a portion of it, and okay. she did a Zoom meeting with a bunch of doctors, and they broke it down. So I'll send you that video, okay, and then you can share it. Yeah, they broke they broke it down with what mold versus virus, right. and they broke it down how it affects your lungs and all. And the conclusion of it was, y'all got to clean these basements out, just point blank, get it out of there. That was the conclusion.
Okay. All right. Well, we will.
It's been a pleasure.
And yeah, so you running? You gonna run for office, right?
Man, I'm gonna run, but anybody in this 37 ward that's on this Zoom,
you got some West Siders in the house.
Listen, I need y'all to come out and help me, because that day, that day of the election, they had all them people out there. They were doing the Matrix. I was like, man. I ain't gonna.
It's a new wave. It's a new wave. Ain't nobody playing with these people no more.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. I'll talk to you about it later. But I'm gonna tell you something. That election, a lot of dead people voted. Man, it was a lot of dead people voted. I swear to God.
Right.
And there was a lot of people. When I went to this one mental institution. I ain't gonna get the address right, but I'm checking up on who registered. Right. I'm doing my little research. I get the lady name. I go in there. This lady didn't know what year it was. She thought she was a Spider Woman. She trying to climb the walls.
Oh, mental illness.
I'm like, how she know who to vote for? You see what I'm saying? Who voted for her? So it's a lot of trickery going on around this one. But
it is a lot of trickery, and that's why the feds is coming. Y'all are going, and it's a few of them watching right now. Y'all are going to prison. I'm trying to tell you, every day, I write the DOJ and I
Yeah.
write the White House.
And how can a dead person vote? But the
Man,
thing
look,
is,
Chicago got it real good here. Like I
yeah,
mean, multiple times too, and multiple wards.
I need my live people in the 37 ward to come alive and come out here with me, and let's get down. And I need my people in the 28th ward to get down. I need my people in the 24th ward. We ain't no gang. We all on the
Well,
west side.
Monique Scott.
We got to listen. Whoever is good, okay, cool. But we got to get these people that's not good out of there.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with none of them. I've been
None of
asking
them. Yeah.
for a press conference for the longest, and I can't get not one a black alderman to stand with me. So I really don't give a fuck if they make it or not. I'm not endorsing not one of them motherfuckers. However, I'm for you, and we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna plot, plan, organize, and mobilize, and we are going to get these people out of them. But her Emma Mitts, she needs to step down right now.
And Zoe, we got to recruit people for this midterm. Whoever want to run
Right.
for anything that got some great ideas, or let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Let's talk. Whoever
Yeah, I
want to
think you're gonna
run.
win too. I think you're gonna win too. I think you are. I got good hope.
Oh yeah.
You just don't
Hey, I'm coming.
fumble. Just don't fumble.
Nah, I'm coming hard this time. First time, you know what I'm saying? You know what? For what I had and what I did, I think I did pretty good. But
It's about the rollout.
huh?
It's about the rollout. How you
Right.
gonna roll out? Like I like the Mr. 37, but it's about
Yeah.
the rollout. You understand? It's about the
Hey,
rollout.
hey, Mr. 37, Lord have mercy, we coming hard this time. You know what I'm saying? We coming
Right.
hard. And I didn't see what I had to see. It's like playing sports. You lose the game, now you know what their plays are now, right? So
Right.
now we got to call that audible to make it happen. Cool. All right.
Right.
All right.
Well, we will
Hey,
probably do this again.
everybody on there, everybody on the Zoom tonight, everybody's gonna see this. It's been a pleasure, Zoe. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you having me on here.
We had we got a
Congratulations to
total
you.
of 324 people from all over. Yeah, X YouTube. Because I got on X YouTube. I'm working on my Rumble thing, but 324 people have tuned in.
The Rumble in Manila. That what you talking about?
Well, no, it's called Rumble. I'm trying to get on there
Rumble.
more. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. But 324 people between YouTube and X have watched this.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
324 people. How y'all doing? Are they all over the country?
Right.
Are they? Yeah.
They're probably all over. I'm a little.
The Chicago, baby. Chicago.
But nah. But you need to get you. Do you have a YouTube?
Nah, I don't have a YouTube. You got to show me about that YouTube. I gotta listen. I had TikTok and all that, but I got to get a YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I got Facebook. That's about it.
All right.
Hey,
well,
Mr. 37 coming.
This is the crazy thing because it's at 11. We did this at 11 o'clock, so that's dope. That 326 people rocked out with us.
Damn, yeah. I gotta get up, go to the dentist in the morning. I gotta get off this. I gotta get up. They got me coming in early.
I'm so glad you go to the dentist. Oh yes, make dentists great again. You did not stick to veneers. You did not go to the veneer route.
No, I ain't going no veneer. No, I gotta keep these teeth so when I get old, I can chew on my chicken. Yeah. I'm not saying nothing about nobody can't chew right now, but I want to be able to chew. Who hired me as what was that now, Zoe?
Hired me as your communications officer, Mr. 37.
Hey, let's do it. Yeah. Right. Hey, Zoe, I'm having a celebration of life.
Sunday. Yeah, you are, because you are a Gemini too.
Yeah, celebration of life, Sunday, and who all want to come. I don't drink, but drinks on me. Until they run out.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you invite your friends and we have a good
Yeah,
time.
send me the information. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm gonna come anyway. I gotta try to do this fast. I got all these borders because I gotta get into this. We
Hey
about to be
Zoe.
in the jungle.
Hey, listen, Zoe. I ain't
Right.
trying to change you. Get rid of that plastic. Start
Yeah,
drinking
I
that.
know. Look, I
Hey,
gotta take baby steps, man. I'm fat. I'm trying to. It's steps at a time, man.
yeah.
All
But if
right,
you
buy
your
put
next
any glass.
your next step by God dog it's getting late. The I can't think of the water. Mountain spring water. Buy that mountain spring water. That's the best water you can buy. I
Well,
don't work.
this is my friend makes this Shy City alkalinity. This black owned
Oh,
water.
that's alkaline water.
Is alkaline water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Shout out to Shy City alkalinity. West Sider. She's a West Sider. She's on
oh,
the
on
South
Roosevelt.
Side.
On
Huh?
Roosevelt. On Roosevelt.
She, nah. Her name is Tina, but it's shycityalkalinity.com. 312-288-5600. But she makes her own alkaline water. She's been making her water for shit. I've known her almost 10 years now. And this water is so good. My mother can't go without it. She delivers too, but she is a West Sider. She
Bring
went
me
to
bring me two of those Sunday. I got you.
all right, I will.
I bet.
All
All
right.
right. Y'all take it easy. Thanks, you too.
Peace.
Bye-bye. How you turn these off?